a question that many of my listeners have been asking is, did the director have any experience with the IFB? Why focus on this project? And you did not. You didn't have experience with the IFB. What was it about these stories and the Star Telegram report that really stood out to you?
Yeah, because it did emerge from reading the articles that were, I read it in the Kansas City Star, but it was from the Fort Worth Star Telegram, and Sarah Smith's incredible writing and investigative research. I was just amazed at there was this church that I had never, and churches that I had never heard of. I had never heard of the IFB. And then when I found out how ubiquitous it is and how they the shuffle how they shuffle the pastors, and how so much abuse was happening, and it was happening right now, and all these women were coming forward. That's what I got curious about. I was like, this isn't the Catholic Church. It's not a church that I've heard of. And then these women's stories, they were so brave to tell them and speak up. And I like to tell stories that help people, get a window into a part of the world that they might not be aware of, and maybe even change something about the world that really, desperately needs to be changed. So that was, those were some of the things that had attracted me to it.
Did you have any religious background, or was this completely, this idea of religious indoctrination, was it a completely foreign thing to you?
Completely foreign.
Yeah. That's so
background is, I was raised Jewish. So even Christianity is, I wouldn't say foreign, but I'm not as familiar with it. And, but then hearing the swallowing goldfish and, all the discipline, I just, it was all very shocking to me.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me because, as you can imagine, when I meet someone who doesn't have any religious background, or at least a Christian religious background, I can't even fathom, as someone who grew up from the time I was could first form thoughts, I was being told God, Jesus, heaven, hell, so it's always running in the background. And so it's interesting seeing someone with fresh eyes look at the denomination specifically, but just religion as a whole and how it affects people's belief systems and life and marriages and these abuse cases and so many different factors.
Like the fear of God. I've always heard that term, but never really knew what the fear of God meant. And I learned about it in the process of doing this documentary. And people have a real fear of going to hell.
Yes, we do. Very, very real.